You touched upon something which was very interesting at Zilingo. You mentioned there you learned about or you realized about leadership versus people management. What was that realization?
I've been brought up in an environment where pretty much like the stick and the carrot is your bonus, right? And that's it, right? That's people come to work. I mean, look, I absolutely love my job, and most people in finance do. But here's the reality: would you be getting up at 4:30 a.m. every single day and doing what is an incredibly intense job if you got paid zero bonus? And I think the answer for most people would be like, hell no. And so that was the environment I brought up in. My bosses, who most of them love to bits, but like this concept of having a one-on-one is just completely alien. Like you have one-on-one right before bonuses, basically. So usually the first time that you go into their office, unless you like had a compliance breach, and that was pretty much it. And going to Zilingo, I really remember making so many mistakes when I arrived. I had an awesome team, but very young, right? 24 years old, some of them 23 years old. And I remember the first time I asked someone to do something, like a project, he turned around to me and was like, why? I was like, what do you mean, why? Like, again, in banking, like if somebody asks you to do something, you just do it. Why? And what I realized, and this is also honestly through a lot of leadership coaching that Zilingo gave, every C-suite person had a leadership coach that worked with them, was that these young people weren't at Zilingo for the money. They definitely were not there for the money. They were there for the experience, and they were there to be taught. And so the most important thing for them was giving them a purpose and giving them the responsibility. And so when they were asking why, it wasn't, in my mind, it was a belligerent why, but it wasn't. It was like, why? What's the impact of this work? How is this going to help you and the team? Or what experience will this give me? And that's a very different thing. And it took a while to figure it out because I just wanted work to be done. But then what you realize is that if you give them a purpose and give them a direction, you tell them why they're doing something, even if they come up with obstacles on the way, they'll figure it out because they know what the end game is. And unlike in banking, 99% of the things that we did in Zilingo, they had a very ambiguous path. And I knew I wanted this sale, but how, even I didn't know how to get there. And so I think empowering the young people around me that worked in my team with purpose was how you really started to move from being like a manager to leader. Because quite frankly, even if I wanted to, I couldn't manage them because I had teams in three different time zones, all various ages, all working on completely different things. Like, it's not like in banking where it's relatively small teams, you're working next to each other, and there's a lot of technical risk to what people do as a manager. So that's why you find people tend to micromanage banks. But there, it was, even if I wanted to do it, I couldn't do it. And what I realized is that style of management was actually not helpful at all. And so giving people a purpose was actually the best thing you could do as a manager.